I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right, so let's talk about why I believe we need to stop selling college as a dream, and instead we need to selling college the same way we might sell a business opportunity. So here's what happens. Kids are raised, especially over the last 10, maybe even pushing 20 years, okay? Kids are raised that college is a dream. And it's the place where all the magic can come true. And it's the place where if they will sacrifice anything that they have, right arm, right leg, left leg, if they will make all of these sacrifices, emotional sacrifices, time sacrifices, even physical sacrifices, the stress of going to college, the stress of carrying on debt. We falsely, and when I say we, I'm talking, the last few generations, all right, have sold that college is the answer to a student's dream. Well, what is most students' dream? What is most young people's dream? And that is they want to, have a good education so they can make a decent amount of money. Not necessarily to be rich, okay? I've met a lot of people that, the goal isn't to be rich. The goal is to live a comfortable life, have the 2 quarter kids or whatnot, the cat, the dog, a, decent house, a car or two, and be able to basically live life without feeling that they're going to struggle. But the problem, as we have come to find out with the trillions of dollars that we have now in student loan debt, as we all know, exceeds credit card debt. The problem is that the dream that we have sold people here in the United States, we've sold to young people that if they will make all these sacrifices, these dreams will come true. Well, here's the reality. These dreams won't come true. And here's an even probably more harsh reality. Just because you go to college does not obligate the dream to come true. So here's what I think needs to happen. I think we need to make a public shift in what college really is. College, for most people that do not come with a trust fund, for most young people that do not have the assistance of parents that can just say, here's $40,000, $50,000 towards your education. For most young people that are doing this on their own, you really shouldn't look at college as a dream. Because what happens when we tell people that dreams can't come true? What happens when we tell a 19, 20-year-old or even a 16-year-old getting ready to graduate from high school in a couple of years? When we say dreams can't come true, well, that can push them harder for their dream, but the problem is it can also push that dream straight into a nightmare. And I think the problem is that college has been sold too much with it's the American dream to get a college degree so you can better your life. When in reality, especially if you're doing it alone financially, especially if you don't have a lot of really wise people to guide you through the academic, not just the academic programs, but the financial part of the program, dreams don't necessarily come true. And this is, in my opinion, what's just shocking so many people, even the people who haven't gone to school. The people who haven't gone to school, meaning they have not gone on to a four-year college, I think many of them are very much in shock at just the incredible debt load that these college students are carrying into their late 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And we're talking 40s and 50s after having gotten their college degree in their 20s, okay? And when we sell something as a dream, well, we don't want to be responsible for someone losing their dream. If I say to you that, hey, you know what, you go to college, you take on $80,000 worth of debt to get this drama degree, to get this music degree, let's say even to get the math and science degree, but perhaps math and science isn't really your forte, all right, whatever, all right? So I tell you that you will fulfill your dream if you do this. Well, I certainly don't want to be the responsible party if your dream doesn't come true. This is what I see happening in society as far as student loan debt. Nobody of the older generation wants to be responsible, really responsible, for saying, you know what, we've misguided the last couple generations. We've misguided them, and we told them that their dreams could come true, but in reality, their dreams can't come true. And here are a couple of reasons. First off, what happens when there are too many people have degrees? What happens to the value of the degree? When Everybody goes to college. And actually, this could even spin possibly into another YouTube video I'll make later. But what happens when too many people have something? It devalues it. All right, it devalues it. So if everybody is going out and fulfilling their drama degree, their photography degree, their English degree, whatever degree, when everybody's going out and going and fulfilling it, eventually you're going to have a market saturation of it. You're going to have more people that are supposedly, at least with their degrees, okay, more people are qualified to do the job, at least to a degree, not saying through experience, because they may not have been hired yet, but at least to a degree, they are qualified to do the job. But there aren't enough positions. So how do we tell people that they can fulfill their dream of whatever career it is that they want when there aren't even enough positions to fulfill that? The other thing is this: we look at student debt very differently than we look at a mortgage. And here's the interesting part. Okay, if you really think about it, should we not, instead of selling to people, hey, go to college, get debt? And really, folks, this is about college debt. Okay, this is not about the people who have all the assistance in the world to get themselves through college, and those people are gonna, those young students are gonna be fine. This is really for the student or students. They have very little to no assistance. And even if the assistance that they have is their parent, but their parent is having to take on a Parent Plus loan, get into debt for that, where the parent and the child now can't even save themselves financially, okay? That's not fulfilling the American dream. That's not fulfilling it. Nobody wants to be responsible for telling the young people, guess what? We kind of screwed you over. We told you if you would do A, B, and C, okay, we told you if you would do that, you would get this in return. And these young people are coming out of college going, wait a minute, no, that's not the case. I did everything I was supposed to do. I did everything that my parents, and maybe even at this point, even grandparents told me to do. All right. So how about if we start looking and selling so-called college debt? We start looking at it like a mortgage. What do we do when we get a mortgage? One of the most responsible things, at least when I got my mortgage, I told myself is I'm not out to get my dream place. I'm out to find something that I can afford, something that I can pay off quickly, something that I can maintain. But we don't sell college like that. It's as if we sell college debt as put all logic aside, and instead we're just going to go ahead and we're going to give you all the money you need to fulfill this dream. We need to stop looking at it like a dream. And instead, we need to start looking at college like a business. Because let's face it, folks, when it comes to the schools themselves and their academic ledger, their academic budget, you are a business. You as the client, you as the student are a business. You are assigned a student number. You are worth so many dollars. They assess, and if you don't believe me, you can look it up, okay? Colleges have to assess how many students are passing, how many students are flunking. They want to pass as many students as possible. They really, really want to, because a school that has too high of a failure rate doesn't look good, all right? So you are, in essence, a number. I understand that you've been sold that this is your dream school and your school loves you as much as you love them. You are a client. You are a business number, okay? You need to do the same thing with the school. Think about buying a house. What's one of the things, at least one of the things I was told when I was apartment hunting or condo hunting, okay? I was told many things, but one of the best pieces of advice, I'm sure many people have heard it, that I was told is, don't ever let them know you're in love with the place you're looking at. Because if you let them know that you're in love with the place you're looking at, then you are the first person to lose your cards. Because now the seller, okay, we're pretending I'm buying a piece of property, okay, because now the seller knows, this is really what you want. You really do like this, okay? Don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. But what do young people do? Oh, this is the college campus I've always wanted to be at. I can't go anywhere else. I have to have this school. And who are you telling this to? You're telling it usually to somebody in admitting, the career counselor, maybe the financial guidance counselor, the student loan person you're hooked up with at that school. Just like buying a house, okay? One of the worst things, even when I found my condo, and I really love my condo, and actually, it was my first choice, okay? And I actually walked in and I went, oh my God, this is it. This is it, because I like open floor plans, I like small spaces, all of that. And my realtor, before I went in, said, don't show any emotion. Just go in, you're going to look at it. She goes, you can jump up and down, all giddy and excited afterwards. Students, when you go in to judge and evaluate a school, you need to start looking at that school like a business, okay? Is this where your money, your time, and your investment is best spent? Any good business owner, any good person who's going to own a piece of property, okay? We're not going to show all of our love for the place, okay, in the research stage. Because if we do, we're giving up basically our control to say, maybe we don't want this. If a guidance counselor or an admittance counselor, okay, someone in the admitting department knows that this is your dream school, guess what? You've lost. Not only have you possibly lost, even though I know schools don't really negotiate, budget and stuff like, maybe you can't negotiate on a house, but you've lost in the sense that the school knows that that's where your emotional commitment is. And you've also lost in the sense that you've already told the school you're not willing to look anywhere else. So now guess what? The next phase is, oh, well, and here's a Parent Plus loan that, application that they can push out on you as well. Now your parents have lost possibly as well because you're just so hung up on the school, there's no other place to look at. That's a really bad mistake, in my opinion. Don't see a school as a dream, because I guarantee it to you, the school is not looking at your application as a dream. They're looking at your application strategically. What grades do you bring in? What school did you go to? Are your parents part of the alma mater program? Meaning, have your parents gone to that school before? Is this school in your family history? Okay, they're looking at you very strategically. They don't look at you and go, I'll just use myself as an example, okay? Oh my goodness, Carrie Horn has applied to this university. Oh my gosh, we have to have her. Absolutely doesn't matter what it takes. It doesn't matter who she is, what she's done, or anything else. We must have her, bring her on board. It's not the way they do it. That's not the way you should do it as a student. You as a student need to look at that school like you would a house, like you would a business venture. You must, and this is the hard part, you must be willing to walk away from it. If you go, look, my parents are going to have to take out a huge loan. My parents, make, $30,000, $40,000 a year. They're going to have to take on a loan that I know I can't pay off. Plus, I'm going to have to take on my own loans. This is a nightmare. Would you go into a business like that? Would you buy a house if you knew it was going to sink you financially, and if you knew it was going to sink your parents? No. Hopefully no. Hopefully the answer to that would be no. You would not do that. You would instead have the business acumen, okay, meaning the business intelligence, the wiseness in you. You would have the business acumen to go, whoa, this isn't a good investment. And as much as your heart may wanted to have gone into that business, as much as your heart may have wanted to buy that house, purchase that car, whatever the major item is, okay? You are wise enough to know that that's not going to work. And even if it works for you in the short run, yeah, you can get in, you can get behind the wheel of the car, you can get the keys to that house. The question is, can you maintain it? And when you sign on the line for a student loan, not only, yes, you can get into the school. They'll give you all the Parent Plus money that your parents need. They'll give you all the money that you need above and beyond the federal loans, okay? They will take you into private loans. They will do everything necessary. You can get the keys to that college. But the question is, can you maintain it? And had you looked at it from the beginning as a business, as a home buying transaction, would you have still made that same decision? Would you have still made that same choice? Here's the thing. When we buy a house, we look at long term. At least, if you're a good homeowner and you really are trying to stay within your budget. One of the things I did with my condo when I purchased it, and it's it's a humble but cute little condo. I made sure I didn't go so much as $5,000 above my limit. I remember telling my realtor, we're not even going to look at it, okay? We're not even going to look at it. If it is so much, as $1,000, $5,000, here's the bar. Here's the most that I'm willing to pay. And we have to stay within this range. And if it goes out of that range, I'm not even going to look at it. Because here's what happens. And I think this happens a lot with students. Much like if I say, okay, I say I'm going to limit myself to $150,000 residence, but, there's one here for $165,000. That's not so bad, an extra $15,000. And before you know it, what happens in housing and how people buy too much house? They keep creeping up. The amenities that they saw, the prettiness that they saw in the house, okay, whatever. Well, the same thing could happen with the student loan. in my opinion, if you don't start looking at it like a business, if you don't start looking at it like you were purchasing a house. Because people, let's face it, the student loan debt is as much, if not more, than a residence. My $110,000 student loan that got forgiven August 2022 exceeded the price of my condo that I purchased by $10,000. Okay, so my condo is $100,000, which, by the way, the condo today in Tampa sells for over $200,000. So, you know, maybe that was just called luck and timing, all right? But at the time that I purchased it in early 2020, it was a $100,000 condo. My student loan, however, was forgiven at $110,000. Had I looked at my student loan transaction like I looked at buying my condo, I'd never gotten to a $110,000 student loan, because I would have said, oh, you know, it appears to me that graduate school to be a teacher is probably not the best decision. It's not the best financial decision. Is there another way I could bring in extra money without that debt? Sure. Part-time job, you know, 10, 15 hours a week. Okay? And something else, just a quick side note, when you think about a part-time job, people, it doesn't mean you have to do a part-time job year-round, okay? You don't have to do a part-time job year-round, okay? You can do a part-time job seasonally, during the summer, whatever, okay? But when we talk about and we sell to young people that if you'll go to this school, you'll fulfill your dreams. Nobody wants to be a dream killer. And the thing is when we have promised these kids, you know, let's say we start telling them in, you know, elementary, middle school, you can be anything you want to be. Yeah, okay. In Never Never Land, yes. But in reality, you may not have the eyesight to be a pilot. You may not have the math aptitude to be a physicist, okay? So we have to put a lot of reality into that. And I think to myself, you know, we have sold kids that it's all about the dream. It's not about the dream, people. It's about the reality of the situation. And the more reality you can inject into whether or not a school is right for you, whether or not a student loan is right for you, the more reality you can inject into it, the better your life will be, even if it means you have to tweak your dreams just a little bit. So that's just kind of my thought is we need to, in short, we need to make sure that we aren't selling dreams, but we need to help gear students towards a real financial picture that will make sure that they're set for life and that they're not financially sinking. And, you know, I don't want to be, you know, especially as a teacher, you know, I don't want to tell a student, hey, you know, you need to tweak your dreams. But I would much rather tell a student, okay, if I were a parent, I'm not a parent, but if I were a parent, I would much rather say to the student, hey, we need to keep it in reality. Because the bottom line, we have literally, okay, millions of students that have student loans as deep as a mortgage is. All right, like I said earlier, my student loan was actually bigger. Now, forget just the mortgage. My student loan in total was more than the purchase of my condo. This is what we need to start putting into the face of young people and doing it in a way that makes them understand that forget what you've been told about dreams. Forget the pretty packages that say, you know, all your dreams can be fulfilled here. This isn't about dreams. Good business owners don't make business decisions based on dreams. They make it in reality. Good homeowners, people who buy cars, don't make those decisions supposedly based on dreams. They ground it in reality. And we need to do the exact same thing with student loans. All right, I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. Thank you so much for joining me today. I do hope you will consider subscribing and have a great day. Love and hugs. Bye.